Record. Okay, this is Mr. Castro. I'm here in the classroom, right, trying to teach kids about the importance of volume. And so right behind me, I don't know if you can see. Can you see okay? Class, you guys can you see okay? All right. And so then here I have what it's called, the one dimension. It's right here. I have a little cord. Um, and here, right here, I'm gonna flip the camera. And here is 0 dimensions, which is just a dot. One dimension is when we call length, and two-dimensional is just the length and then the width. Sometimes we color code, we use different colors. I'm gonna start showing you why. So the length, I'm just gonna put it in green color, and then the width, I'm gonna put it, so that's 2 dimensions. So this one is just 1 dimension. And here, I'm not gonna put any color. I'm just gonna leave it neutral. But right now, that's called 0 dimension, which is just a dot, okay? A dot. So a dot is just 0 dimensions. Now, length is made up 2 points. Do you see that right there, class? Can you see that? Okay, so then right there, because there's 2 dots and I connected, that's called a segment. And it's like the one-dimensional, and that this, another thing that we use, we length or distance. Like for example, this is the word distance. Can you write that in your notes, please? Okay, so distance. So the distance from this point to this point is also called distance or line segment. Line segment. Line segment. Okay, Mr. Castro, but I thought you were going to explain what volume is. Well, I'm explaining so that people can understand what 0 dimension is, what 1 dimension, what 2 dimension, which is I'm representing it with a green color and then the red color. Now I'm going to move over to 3D and I'm going to move the colors. So length is green, width is red, and then another color, I'm going to use the yellow to represent height. So we got length times width times height. And this one, we get a weird shape. Anybody know what the shape is called? Can anybody raise your hand? What is that weird shape that's there? Yes. Okay. What's the shape? A cube. Yes, yes, yes. And so this one is a three-dimensional. It's a three-dimensional figure, but it's also called a cube. Can you write that down in your notes, please? You can write that on your paper notes, or you can write it on your Google slide. And parents, I'm asking kids that every week to create a Google slide where they're going to be essentially taking notes of what I'm trying to teach them. They can copy my notes, that's okay. But then they have to explain to you as a parent and to me as a teacher and to each other in class. Is that what I'm asking you to do, class? Is that what we did today? So this week, we're learning how to work with others, but we're doing it in a safe distance by utilizing the Zoom platform, what is the Zoom platform. But we have, I put them in little rooms. What are those rooms called, class? Breakout rooms. And in the breakout rooms, for example, they're not next to the person if it was a physical class only, but we're going virtual. Oh my goodness. I never thought I would be doing this, parents, but I'm like in a virtual world. Sometimes I'm in my YouTube channel that some of you have already subscribed. Thank you for doing that, because I put videos like this. They go on our YouTube channel, but not all of them, right? Not all of them. But many of them do. But if you want to know, for example, when you're absent, or if you don't understand the concept or how to explain the concept to your child, you can use my channel so that you can use. I don't monetize. That means I don't make money from the channel. That's not what I'm trying to do, but I'm trying to help you as a parent and also help my students. So sometimes I go deeper into the content because I really love to teach. That's something that I'm passionate about. But sometimes I can be a scaredy cat about and I do mean that in a respectful way. Mr. Castro can sometimes be scared. I've also shared that with my class. Is that not true, class? That sometimes we have to
Yes.
we have to overcome our challenges of speaking in front of people. And so I am showing you, parents, how it's really important for you to speak and teach your kids how to speak out loud their thoughts and how to think about their thoughts first and then go ahead. And so right now I'm doing a presentation. I'm doing a presentation where now I'm flipping it right here. I'm flipping and I'm showing you that this is volume. And a cube is a three-dimensional figure. I'm gonna say it's called three-dimensional. A cube is a three-dimensional figure that has uh, length. It also has, I misspelled that, sorry about that. It has length, comma, what else? Class, what else? Length in green. Now we go to the red. What does it have, class? What's the second dimension? Red. Width. Good. Width. And then it has a third dimension called height, which is in yellow. So height. So I'm teaching them how to break things down, parents. And then who could tell me what do you do with the length, with the width, and with the height? Can anybody tell me? Now because we're gonna put this on the YouTube channel, parents, you please, if you have a problem with your kids being on the YouTube channel, let me know. But right now, I don't want you to open up your camera. I want you to open up, and can someone tell me what you do? Raise your hand. I want to call you out, and then I'll tell you to unmute yourself. Can someone tell me what do you do with the length, the width, and the height? Can someone tell me? In the back, Marta. You have to unmute yourself and tell us, because I'm recording live.
You multiply it.
And what do you multiply? Tell us more.
Well, you multiply the length, width, and height.
You multiply the length times the width times the height. She's right. She multiplies the length times. So we're going to create a formula. Can everybody write this down? No, ahora no. Entonces, so what we do, right? This is live. So then we create a formula. Can everybody write this down in your notes? So parents, when I tell them that, I'm teaching your children to make sure that they're listening and they're taking notes. Formula for volume. And then they take notes. So you can tell them, what did you learn today? And they should be able to talk about the formula for volume, which is V, which stands for what, class? V stands for? Unmute yourself, class. What does V stand for?
Volume.
Volume, that's right. So today we're talking about volume. I'll put that big right there, volume. And then when volume, there's a formula, and it's called volume. I'm going to put it in small letters, volume, just in case, so that volume. Are you taking these notes? Are you taking these notes, class? You're seeing it in the screen. Volume equals the length times the what? The length times the width. Remember, unmute yourself if you're talking, because I can't hear you. The length times the width times the
Height.
height. Say that word. Everyone say height. Height. Muy bien. So we're using three colors because the green represents the length, the red represents the width, and the height represents what color? Yellow. So I don't know if I said that correct, because I'm a little bit nervous because now I'm putting this live in our YouTube channel. And I don't regularly post stuff, but I'm gonna try to do it more regular so we advance in math. Okay, I'm gonna flip my camera. All right, here we go. So then volume, here's the formula. Can you repeat it with me, class? Volume equals length times the width times the height. That's how you figure out volume. So let's do an example. Okay, I'm gonna do an example, and then all of you, you have to figure out what the volume is of that example. And I'm gonna go right here. I just created the example, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna pretend that I drew all of that, and then I'm gonna say that the width is 3 units, the length from here to here is 7 units, and the height from top to bottom, right, from bottom to top, is height, which is 2 units. So then we're gonna put all those measurements, 3 times, we said the length times the width times the height. But parents, you know that when you're multiplying, does it matter? When you're multiplying, I'm gonna create this, maestra, I'm gonna create this, and I'll send it to you, okay? You check our YouTube channel so you guys can subscribe. All right, here we go. All right, so I just showed you, I just shared that right there on a big screen, right, that I have. But I have a bigger screen over here that I'm gonna show you. That class, you're seeing it, you're seeing my screen right now, right, as I'm pointing to it, right? But do you see these 3 dimensions, class? Yes? The length, and then we got the width, and then we got the height. And there's 3 dimensions, we call that 3D. And to find the volume of a rectangular prism, multiply its 3 dimensions. What are the 3 dimensions? Length times width times height. The volume is expressed in cubic units. Adrian found this research, one of my students, right, found this research by just looking up the definition, which is kind of cool. So thank you, Adrian. Okay, so thank you, Adrian, for doing that for us. And so that is what I want my students to be able to explain. How do you find, well, since look, okay, so I just showed you that that was the problem. Now I'm gonna copy the problem right here. I'm gonna show you this problem, right? This problem right here that I have right here. Now I'm gonna pretend that instead of just having the length, I'm actually gonna give it, what is the width in that figure? What is the width, class? Okay, width is 3 units. So we're gonna put 3 units. How about the length? What is the length on that one? It says 7 units. Okay, 7 units. And how about the height? What's the height? Okay, the height over there is 2 units. So yes, so then we got 2 units. Now, what are we, now we start to plug in all these numbers right here. Like for example, the length, I found it right there, that's the length. Now the width, we found it, is right here. And then the height, we're gonna find it, and it's right here. Now you're gonna multiply this times that. Class, can you go do that right now? Can you do that right now? Can you solve that problem? Don't shout it, don't shout the answer. Okay, put it on I'm recording, so right now put it on the chat, and I'm gonna show everybody what the chat looks like. Right now I have it set only to the host, which is me right now. And so can you please, as you figure out the answer right now, I want you to get your journal and put that math. Okay, I am asking now students, I'm gonna flip the camera. I'm not gonna show their face, but I'm gonna show that some of my students, they don't know what to do when I'm asking them questions. For example, I'm asking you to get your journal out. Okay, so I got one, I'm gonna flip my camera. I got one of my students. Yep, she's got a journal. Now solve that one. Solve it, and then show me the math. Okay, so here's one of my students. He's doing the math, and I want you to open up your journal and then do the math right now. And so then I'm just showing you what I have to do in my class, because I'm unfortunately, parents can't be right now here, and so now I'm showing you what happens in my classroom, so you be confident that that we're keeping also that. Okay, so then do the math right there. Good. Now do the math, and you should be right there with also looking. Okay, good, right there. She's doing the math. Now she's solving it. All right. So she's got the math right there. All right. Well, keep on going. Keep on going. And then actually give us the answer right there. What is the answer? What is the volume of that figure? Okay. What is the volume of that figure? Okay. So parents, now it's tricky. Okay. But I'm going to whisper so that my students don't really listen. But they're supposed to, if you're going to figure out volume, this is what you do, parents. Okay. I'm going to flip it right here. Watch. You multiply to get the volume. Then you're gonna go the equal sign. Look, everything stays the same. So the equal sign, this is gonna be the volume, right? Just V. And then whatever the length is, and then you go right here. That's the length, so you put it right here. 7, and then times, okay, this, you just bring this down, right? And here's the length, because this, it used to be a mystery, right? Before, now we know what it is. And now we go to the width, which is right here. So we go the length, green, then the width is right there. So then the width is 3. So we put the width is, okay, 3. So we got volume, we go 7 times 3, and then times, we bring the multiplication, and then, oh, times 2 units. So we go right here, boom. All right, so we got 2 units, so we put it right here. The height is 2 units. So times 2. Now you're gonna go 7 times 3, whatever that is, and then times this number. Times this number. So now I'm going to ask my students if they know what 7 times 3 is. Okay. Class, does anybody know what 7 times 3 is?
21.
Okay. Now, class, before you answer, remember, I'm pointing to certain people. Some of you are answering as a whole, but what's 7 times 3? You have to unmute yourself. Remember, what's 7 times 3?
21.
Okay, 21. So we're going to go right here, parents. Right here, parents. So 7 times 3 is 21. And then times what, class? When I say what, class, then everybody can answer. Times what number, class? Times 2. Good. Thank you for unmuting yourselves. Now, what can someone figure out in the paper what's 21 times 2? Now, if you don't know how to figure that out, you should use the standard algorithm, or you can use whatever, but it's 21 times 2. You got 21 times 2. Did somebody figure that out already? Okay, can you unmute yourself? What's 21 times 2, Marta?
42.
Okay, now they're giving me the answer, so I'm going to put it, but how did you get to 42? Well, she multiplied the 2 times the 1, and then the 2 times the 2, which is 42. Okay, then so then the volume is, so what's the volume? Class, what's the volume? Everybody answer. But you got to mute yourselves.
42.
42. Muy bien. So then, but are we done there? No, because it should be units, what? Units square, cubed. Write that down. 42 units cubed, or parents, another way to figure to put it right here is the volume equals 42 cubic units. All right, there we go. Now, can I go deeper with that? Yes, of course, you could go deeper. You could go deeper by actually drawing a model. See, drawing a model. Now, I want you to understand, parents and students, that the model that I use, okay, the model that I use, it's logging in. Sorry about that, parents. Okay, that, for example, some of my students can also go to another, it's called link to the virtual model. Can everyone go to the link on the virtual model, and can you put in the dimensions? Can you put in the dimensions? So I'm going to go right there, and it takes me to a special place where you can change here. You can change the settings. If you change the settings, now you can go, but here they call it different. They call it the width, the depth, and the height. So the width stayed the same. The only one is the length. but they just call it depth, and that's okay. Okay, that's it. So what did we say the dimensions were? Let's say what's width. What is width, class? It should be width should be 3, and length should be what? On that model. Length. Look at the length on that model. Huh? Okay, I'm gonna use my class because I'm asking my students and they seem to be like a little bit confused. If you answer, remember to unmute yourself. Now I'm gonna use a laser to kind of point, people's attention. And sorry if I'm like pointing my camera. It's hard to teach. And now parents, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna send you this video. It's gonna be a little bit long, but right here. Now, boys and girls, I'm asking you to look at right here. We already have width, and I put it right here, like on the 3. The 3. Now I want you to go here, and if I already did the width, which is 3, already put the width, which is 3. What do we need to go on the other model? We have to go on the other model. We have to change what's missing, which is the length. What is the length on that model? I'm pointing to it right now, right here. What is the length, class? 7. Okay, so 7. The depth is 7. Okay, and the height, what is the height? 2. So we're gonna change the height to 2. Can you change it on your model? The one also, and then this should give us this figure. See, because we're missing a. Órale. All right, so here it is. Okay, so here it is. And now this model, parents at home, you should be able to manipulate it. Look at how it changes right there. So that's like a little flap, and it's gonna go from a 2D to a 3D. It's gonna go from a 2D to a 3D right here. And right there, and then you close the green flap like this, and then it creates, now that one right there is what that one should be right there, right? And so I am modeling, right? What this should, we went from a 2D, which is flat, right there, that's a flat figure, to a 3D by folding it and creating like a box that we can close up. And that this is a tool that your children have access to. And when we're doing this right here, right, all of this, the example that we did today, I'm gonna put the example because I have two classes. And in those classes, they need me to be as transparent as possible so that we can teach. Now right there, now I'm gonna edit, right? I'm gonna edit. And what I did is I just copied it. So class, you should be able to use this even on tests to change the dimension so that you can see a model. And that's gonna allow you to get a 3 on the test, right? Because we had the test, parents, and that was the pre-test. And so, of course, it's a pre-test. I haven't taught this, but then kids can start to understand, well, how do we go from here? Now, class, can everybody help me by putting in those measurements into this slide? So everybody, when you write something, you put your name, and that I will give you credit right now. So everyone should be in this slide. I see some of you that are there. I see Alexandra. Muy bien. And sometimes the system asks me to verify that it's me, and I have to do that, and that's just for security reasons. Why does that? Well, just for security reasons. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So now I put a special model where I'm going to give plenty of opportunities to my students to teach me and to participate. So can everyone go to slide number 15? Go to slide number 15, and let's solve this together. Okay, now I explained it, and now I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to stop the video, and actually I'm going to ask parents, thank you so much. Now I showed you how to do it. Now this I'm going to automate it, which is I'm going to create an animation. So when you play it, it fills it in by yourself, and then you can review with your child at home, because that's what we need to do to make sure that the kids are learning as best as possible. I can check to see if they're learning. I can see that they're paying attention, but they have to be able to explain this concept to you at home, and you should be able to, oh, okay, let me check to see if the answer is correct. Okay, thank you, parents. Nos estamos viendo. Okay, I'm going to stop recording and I'm going to upload this to YouTube.